There's nothing more important to me than sitting down to a nice, beautiful steak. And you're looking right here and you're thinking, Richo, how did you get to there? Well, I can tell you a few little tricks of how I can make sure that you can put the perfect steak on the plate. Now, of course, you want to start with the perfect cut. Now, if you like something with a little bit of chew to it and a lot of flavour, you might choose something like this, which is a rump steak. Beautiful piece of meat. It sits off the bottom here and it does a lot of work, so it has got a bit of mouthfeel to it. And if you're game, you could always try a full face rump like this. That's going to stop you in your tracks. Now, if you want something middle of the road, a Porterhouse steak is a great cut. A nice amount of meat and a nice little bit of fat on the outside to give it some moisture and mouth feed. This is a nice tender cut with a little bit of marbling, the perfect thing. And of course, ribeye or Scotch fillet. This is off the bone and this is a most delicious cut. It comes a little bit further up the body and it's made up of a couple of muscles. But as you can see from this, it's got some beautiful marbling in there. And marbling means flavour. That intramuscle fat there dissolves and melts into the steak and gives you a lovely mouthfeel. Now, if you want to try something a little bit different, why not try something like this, a skirt steak, a secondary cut. Seared nice and gently and keep it nice and rare. Let it rest for a second, then slice it. It's got a little bit of mouthfeel to it or chew to it, but the flavour is incredible. Now, you're saying to me now, Richo, how do I cook my steak? Well, here's a tip. You need salt. Salt loves meat and meat loves salt, and you need plenty of salt on your meat. All over your steak, you want to make sure every single bit is covered with salt. And of course, pepper. Lots of black pepper on here. I like to mill my pepper straight from the pepper mill. And then a little bit of oil. The oil helps to transfer the heat from the pan into the steak. A couple of drops are all you need. And what you do is just massage it into the outside. Now, the other thing that I didn't say before, which is really, really important, is of course to take your meat out of the fridge. Let it come up to room temperature. It'll help it cook nice and evenly. Then all you need to do is pop your steak onto the grill. My grill is nice and hot here, and what I do is pop it on. And when it goes on, you want to hear this magic sound, the sizzle. That's exactly what you want to hear. Now, what I do when I'm cooking my steak is I let it sear on each side. I'll turn it over in a minute or so and let it get some markings. You want to sear the meat. You want to lock in those juices. And by turning it over, you're searing off every single part of it. The other really important thing is the juices are trying to escape from the top. And by turning that meat over, you're confusing those juices so they have to turn around and try and come out again. And that way, all the juices stay in the meat where they belong. So when you cut into your steak, your mouth is going to be filled with this beautiful flavour of beef. And as you can see, the marks are there already. This is red hot. It's going to generate a lot of smoke, and probably the best place to cook a steak is outside on the barbecue. Now you can see I've got my two steaks resting, my ribeye off the bone or my Porterhouse or strip loin. Now, a good rule of thumb is to rest it for half the cooking time. And if you're thinking, Richo, maybe it'll cool down, well, what you need to do is pop it back into the pan, 30 seconds on each side, and it will heat up on the outside. Now, you can check your steak with a digital thermometer, and it takes a little bit of time, but I know this is medium rare, and that's rare, exactly the way I like it. Now, what I need to do is just cut into it like this. Cut off the side there, and you can see by resting it, it allows the muscles to relax and all the juices to stay in the steak where it belongs. This is the perfect piece of steak, and it's been cooked perfectly by me. That is really good.